If you think parrots are colorful, you need to check out Tammy's wardrobe. Now back to the Pet Project with your always well-dressed host, Tammy Trujillo.
And I thank our production director, Ray Holdridge, for all those nice words as we come back from commercial. All right, we are going to go somewhere we have never gone before. And maybe you haven't either. And maybe you've been thankful you haven't up until today. We are going to talk about jellyfish. Now, I don't know if there's one creature in the ocean, and maybe it's because I grew up with the story of my mom getting stung by a jellyfish when I was a little girl. But that's one creature I think it's right on the level with sharks. You think sharks, oh my God, jellyfish, oh my gosh. But just you wait. Just you hang on a minute. Keep your mind open here because this is going to be fun. We are joined now by Alex Andon from Jellyfish Art. And Alex, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Jellyfish. Am I right? Most people are kind of like, ew.
Absolutely. I had the same experiences when I was a kid.
Really?
The jellyfish kept me out of the ocean all summer because I was petrified of them.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, that happened to you as a young person, and now you're into jellyfish art?
Yep, definitely.
Can you take us from point A to point B, please, sir?
Yeah, so, what Jellyfish Art does is we make jellyfish tanks so people can have their own pet jellyfish. Mm-hmm. And despite being scary in the ocean when you're swimming next to them, jellyfish are actually quite beautiful to look at when they're in a tank. Uh-huh. So that's what we make possible.
We have, if you're watching us on our webcams today, we have one of the Jellyfish Art tanks for you to see. And it does not have water in it yet. It has Alan's hand in it at the moment. It doesn't have water in it. We have to get it all set up, and we're going to talk with Alex about what that process is. But where did you get the notion of jellyfish first as a pet, but then as an art form? This is such a neat combination, but such an odd combination, Alex.
So jellyfish have been really big in the public aquariums over the past 10 years or so. Uh-huh. So they figured out how to keep jellyfish in captivity using these special tanks that keep the jellyfish from getting sucked up into the pumps. Oh. And so the public aquarium started displaying these jellyfish on exhibits, and people just fell in love with them. They loved them. And now every public aquarium has a jellyfish exhibit practically. So what we did is we were able to take that design and scale it down in size so that anyone can have their own pet jellyfish and watch them from home.
So that's been the problem all along with putting, because I've always wondered why there weren't jellyfish in saltwater tanks, because they are fascinating if you can really look at them up close. They would get sucked into the machinery. Yeah,
exactly. So if you put a jellyfish in a regular fish tank, within a minute or two, they're going to get sucked up into the pumps. So our tanks employ a special air-driven water pump and a special water flow design that keeps the jellyfish suspended in the middle of the tank and safe from any strong points of suction.
Now, these are very small jellyfish we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
2 inches?
We basically have two sizes, and the smallest size is sort of about the size of a silver dollar.
Uh-huh. Are they going to grow over time to become too big for the tank? How does that work?
Well, they can grow to be very big, like dinner plate size, but jellyfish actually have this adaptation where they can grow or shrink depending on food availability. So you can control how much you feed them and thus control how big they get. So as long as you don't overfeed them, they won't outgrow the tank.
So they can grow large in diameter, but they can shrink in diameter?
Yeah, so if there's any sort of food shortage, they'll just shrink down in size.
Wow, that's incredible. What's the lifespan of a jellyfish?
About a year.
A year.
And that's true in the wild and in captivity.
Uh-huh. When you say food, what does a jellyfish eat?
In captivity, frozen plankton. In the wild, live plankton. So basically tiny little copepods and shrimp and stuff like that.
You know, I know a lot of people are fascinated by this, as I was, and please do go to our Facebook page, Tammy Trujillo's Pet Project on Facebook, because I've got a picture up of the tank with the jellyfish in it, with your lights going. And we're going to talk about the lights because we've got the jellyfish as pets kind of in your mind now. Now we're going to turn them into art. But one thing I have to approach on the pet side, Alex, because, again, you were stung, my mom was stung. How hard is it to take care of these little guys once you get them in the tank and get them going?
So we've made it really easy. We sell a complete kit, so all you have to do is add water and plug it in and you're up and running. The key thing, like I said, with the jellyfish is having the right kind of tank. So you want to make sure you have a tank that's designed specifically for jellyfish, like the one we sell.
Right.
Once you have that tank, they're really easy. Like they're really tolerant of less than perfect water quality conditions, so they're pretty hardy.
So I know in the past I've worked with anemones and stuff, and boy, you get it just a little bit wrong with an anemone and you are sunk.
Really?
Yeah. So these guys they're pretty good for somebody who's never dealt with saltwater before, because I know a lot of people are worried about dealing with a saltwater tank.
Yeah. So that's kind of a misconception. Like people assume that saltwater tanks are more difficult. That's sort of only true with saltwater animals that have specific water quality, needs. So, like, if you were doing corals in saltwater, then yes, it does get complicated because they need certain magnesium levels and light levels and all that sort of thing. But the only thing that's inherently more difficult about a saltwater aquarium is getting the salt water, and you can buy that pre-mixed at a pet store or make it yourself.
Okay.
And you just have to check the salinity once a month and make any adjustments. So it's really an extra 5 to 10 minutes of work per month.
A month. Okay, anybody can handle that. When we come back, we're going to talk about turning these very bizarre sea creatures into art in your home. And I mean, how cool. A neat pet, a conversation piece in your house for sure, and gorgeous changing color lights. That's all coming up on The Pet Project as we continue. It's the show your pet wants you to listen to. Stay tuned.